Deborah. She's so exciting to talk with. Right, welcome. I remember reading one of your books, Walk Easy, and in fact, that book had given me quite a number of, a lot of my mindset actually as a professional who has worked for years changed, a shift. There was actually a shift in my mindset. So you've had quite a number of experience working with people, and I'm glad you are on this call again with me this evening. How are you? How was your day?
Great. I'm doing well, and I hope you are too. So
Yes,
happy Lenten season to you. Lent started yesterday.
Exactly. Sometimes you forget some of this things. All right, so welcome everyone. Let me just use the opportunity to welcome everyone on the call. We'll be going right into it because there's quite a number of questions I have for Deborah David this evening. And I really want us to deal with some critical issues. Hopefully we can answer all. If not, maybe we'll look for an avenue to deal with some of these issues and resolve them once and for all. So Deborah, we are talking about dealing with difficult people at the workplace, how to manage conflict. Can you just help us understand workplace conflicts? Let's even break down this topic. What is workplace conflict?
Yes, Ololai, thank you for this question. And I promise you, this is a question that will never go away, generation to generation and the rest. Wherever people exist, you have tendency for two options, harmony and conflict. And what's usually causing workplace conflict? I mean, it's like conflict generally, and it can happen in the home, in the church, in the marriage, anywhere. But now that we're drilling down to the workplace, we have a system where you don't agree with my position, and I also choose not to agree with your position. And though we both may be right, but we have not developed a maturity to sponsor constructive communication in the sense that we can find a middle ground. That's what I mean by workplace conflict. So conflict happens because there's differences in opinion, and it can be caused by many things. The biggest of all is listening deficiency. I mean, the Institute of Listening Association, I want to read something that they said. They said most times when people are talking to each other, you don't listen. 75% of what the people are saying is lost. As I'm talking now, some people may be listening, they may be hearing sound, but they are not actually listening to everything I'm saying. And there's this very great author. His name is Mark Nepo. He defines listening as follows. Let me read how he defines it. Okay. He says listening, in his book, Exclusive Books, he said listening is to give up all expectations continually and to give attention completely and freshly to what is before you, not knowing what you will hear and what it will mean. He further describes this that to listen means to lean in softly with a willingness to be changed by what you hear. Now, that tells us that listening is an intentional act, and it doesn't always come natural. So when you lean in intentionally, when all of those conversations in your mind are raging, somebody, you can decide to approach someone and say, good morning. Good morning might mean a friendly exchange of pleasantry to the person saying it. The person hearing it might say, he has come here to mock me. The reason he said good morning is because my shirt is turned the other way. It might be that your mind is playing on you. So when people are listening with assumption, so that's why the poet says, Mark Nepo, is that your mind is clear. You are starting from a blank sheet. Is to give up all expectations continually and to give attention completely and freshly to what is before you, knowing that you want to assume you don't know anything. So imagine if we come here now and you are telling me something about the space or the war in Russia. If I had a premeditative feeling or I'd already carried some assumptions into my mind, you will think I'm listening. But as you are talking, my mind is forming images and I'm preparing for the next thing to tell you. I am not actually listening to you effectively. And that's why someone appears to say, why did you say my report was wrong? You already have a feeling that this person's intention is to ridicule or embarrass you. Let's not say the person has an history of ridiculing and embarrassing you. You have a choice to refuse to take offense. People don't offend you, you take offense. So when someone says, you look like this, hello, excuse me. You say I look like that in your eye, but I am not like that. So why do you want to sponsor a system where people introduce you to you all the time? He called me stupid. So that is his own opinion. You are not stupid. So these are the kind of things that cause conflicts. Number one, lack of maturity to find a middle ground. Number two, deficiency in listening. Number three, low self-esteem or lack of self-awareness. People don't tell you who you are. You already know who you are, and you are okay. I mean, there was something I posted on my Instagram page about a little girl who was telling her mom what happened in school. He said the little boy said I was ugly. I told him that I did not come here for fashion show. I came here to learn. Someone else will be crying. They call me ugly, and for 3 weeks you cannot eat just because of a simple, careless statement from the mouth of someone else. That is that person's opinion. Whether it gets to you, you are the one that will determine whether it gets to you or not. So we need to always mind how we agree with people. So the next thing I want to say again that can cause it, number 4, is actually lack of mindfulness. When you're not mindful, right? You're not mindful of the feeling of the others. I mean, in emotional intelligence, we know there are 4 quadrants. There's self-awareness, there's self-leadership, and there's emotional awareness, social awareness. You understand the feeling of the next person you're talking to. So you are joking, but those statements are like racist statements. Why does your hair look like a monkey's hair? Who made this hair? Is it a carpenter? You don't do that, because you are just talking, but the other person the person is having an effect, is getting a negative effect. Even though they are showing you non-verbal signs, you are still not stopping. What kind of joke are you joking that you are inconveniencing the next person? You have turned to a bully or a terrorist because you are affecting the ego, the image of the other person. So people should learn to be mindful. Find out what works in this relationship or in this conversation. If you work with somebody for 6 months, you should try and understand their style. The whole essence is not for you to change your style. It is for you to know how to adapt to the style of that person to sponsor effective communication. The whole essence is to communicate. I mean, I told a story in my books. When I was in audits, I was doing KPMG audits. I know we'll go to client site and then call people by first name because that's how we do in KPMG. But when I got to one of those clients, they taught me a lesson. I mean, I'm talking about many years ago. And I will go to this lady and call her by her first name. And she will say, the schedule you're looking for is not ready. This and that and that. I was there 1 week from the financial state. So one day, my manager called me, Auntie, what's the matter? I said, this day is not ready. I have done everything. He said, you have done everything. Okay, wait. My manager went downstairs on that job and went to meet her and collected the schedule under 2.5 minutes and came back and gave it to me to start working on it. So out of curiosity, I said, what changed? He said, when you go to her, how do you address her? I said, I call her by her name, Shola. I said, oh, you won't get schedule. I said, what's that? So you won't get schedule. You don't observe properly. Part of your intelligence is you must be socially intelligent. I learned it very early in life. It was embarrassing for me. The thing I thought was hard was because I was not socially intelligent. He said, you don't know you're supposed to call her madam. I said, what does that mean? Should that affect the work? He said, it will affect the work. It's not your own mindset, but it's our own mindset. The way that you call her madam shows her that she's respected and that she can respond to you. So since that day I changed, even though the culture I'm coming from says I should call everybody by first name. But where I am right now, in that place, everybody calls her madam. So subordinates call her madam. When she's going to the canteen, we say, madam, well done, madam, well done. I see it, but I didn't think it was a big deal. So my guy that has done that audit a year before already knew that those kind of things will create issue. So that is where conflict comes from. You are talking to somebody who already believes you have disrespected him, and you are very sincere. You are just saying something. But if you observe, it will be 1, 2, 3 times. Once you keenly observe, you will realize that there is something wrong that I need to adjust. Calling her madam does not kill me. If it affects her so badly, I can do it. So going forward, all this was smooth. I got everything I wanted because I called her madam. So those are the issues.
Adaptation. I love that. I think adaptation is a big deal. But let's talk about adaptation a bit more, Deborah. I've had concerns with people, especially when it comes to the areas of personal issues. You know, some people bring personal issues to work, and that can really cause a lot of conflict. You have somebody that has been scolded by his or her partner at home, somebody that has some personal health issues, different things. But when it gets to the workplace, I don't have visibility to what has happened to you before coming to work. All I want to do is to be professional. So now that you're talking about adaptation, this word adaptation is coming in. What do you think? How do you think somebody in that category can address and can adapt, can adapt to a boss or a colleague who is bringing personal issues to work?
Yes, Ololade, I thank you for using the word adaptation, because in your question, you have already told us the answer. Adaptation, they say, according to my Murdoch, is the proof of honor. When you observe, again, someone comes to you and you think that maybe the person dismissed you, rather than take it personal, like in my first description, I said, not being socially intelligent can create conflict. If you know that you have an intention, you get what I mean? You're not just going there to fluff and to be gisting about the kind of food you ate the previous night. You have an intention. For example, you are in a project and somebody has to do work. And you approach this fellow who should have the information that you need to work on and dismissed you somehow. He probably does not even know that he has been edgy or he has dismissed you. Instead of you taking offense, again, you cannot be offended, you can only take offense. Instead of you taking offense, just say, oh, I'm sorry, I'll come back for it. That's it. You make up your mind that that will not become your problem. Now, there are two sides to the coin. If every day they are coming to you and dismissing people, then you really, really, really are immature. You shouldn't be there. Because it will show that by pattern, you're not talking to only one person. Everybody else has that particular reputation for you. Then that's something that HR or manager needs to fix. We are in this case because we are waiting for X. And because it's not you looking for his trouble, you have done everything, you are not provoking. It will be very clear, even to the managers that is in charge of the thing, that this person needs to be dealt with. So if somebody says, I don't have what you need now, you can go and come back. Okay, just give me a time that you will need it. So let your intention drive you. What are you actually looking for and why are you looking for it? If that thing is important, you will find how to move around it. And that's why I said the answer is actually in adaptation, moving around it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Deborah. I really want us to address some issues. In the last couple of weeks or days, when this advert went out, I had some people send me some questions, and I have a question. It's life scenario question that somebody sent to me, and I really want you to answer that question. So that question, it aligns with one or two things you've said. The person says, how do you deal with a boss that is your closest friend outside work, but gives you 0 at work, treats you poorly, and rarely advances you, and that person is your friend outside work? Now, when you get to work, there's this glass ceiling or this brick wall that just separates both of you. What do you think is happening in that scenario? Number one. Then two, if you are in that position, what will you do?
Okay, thank you for that. You see, that thing plays in two ways. Number one, who do you call a friend? And what are you friends for? Number two, what is actually your workplace ethics? How does it play? And outside of work, who is this person you're talking about? So, who is your friend? You know, the way I see a friend is different from an acquaintance. A friend is someone who has taken my interest, okay, as his or her interest. You know, the Bible says there's a friend that's sticking closer than a brother. This is somebody who wants me to be okay, wants me to proceed, wants me to succeed, wants me to be okay. I mean, anything that touches me touches my friend. That's what I call a friend. So if your friend is so close to you, and when you get to work, he does not think that hurting you that way emotionally is a big deal, then define who you call a friend. It might also be that for certain culture in the organization, maybe he wants to give a certain perspective so that people does not think that he or she is giving you extra favors. But normally, you only behave the kind of character that you have. There are people that they are gentle to a fault. Even under provocation, they will be looking at you. Don't say, hey, he's the one that provoked me, that's why I slap him. It's because you have violence in your blood. If you cannot slap, you cannot slap. Because it's not what you do naturally. You understand what I'm saying? You've been so trained, your subconscious, your mindset, the way you look at people is that they cannot be slapped because they're not animals. Men are supposed to be valued, respected, and loved. So if somebody is your friend outside, and if all you are trying to do is to present a scenario where people don't suspect you, you can still be kind with it. You don't say, oh, shut up, I don't know who you're talking to. And you go home and you sleep. And even in the evening, both of you are sharing a bottle of Coke, and you say that's your closest friend. You have not defined friendship properly. You have not. So even if you have anything like that is paining you, I will give you the same scenario that I will give to children when they are playing. And that's why if you don't look at the way children behave, you may not learn how to behave as an adult. When is a child doing that? That's why you see them playing all the time. They fight, they play. They will tell you their mind. My friend, Ololade, please, I don't understand how you used to do like that when we entered the office. What's happening? Say, I just to do like that. I say, yes, but you can be kind with it. It hurts me. I don't even take it lightly. I feel very bad when you do that to me. And in case you are dodging this friendship, it's unnecessary. People can even come to work and develop friendship. They don't need to have known somewhere. So if you come there and you say, you know what, you say, no, Ololade, I take your point, it's very valid, but give me time to think about it. So that people don't think that it is what you tell me that I do. You get what I mean? That's still okay. Even if somebody is a complete stranger that works in your office, do you have to give the person a 0? So that character of violence and bullying is in the blood of the person you are calling your friend. And even communication corrupts good manner. When you also have a reason to do that, you do it to somebody because you have been cultured by that association to treat people that way. So if you say it's your best friend, I won't doubt you, but please define what friendship means to you.
What friendship? Define your friendship. And I think this one major thing people need to take back when it comes to the workplace, friendship and professionalism. You really need to define it. And I remember, it reminds me of our last conversation on relationship. Drawing that borderline and defining it goes a very long way. So, Deborah, I don't know if you've heard this word, conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. I know it's one lingo in the workplace whereby you really need to declare some interest. If not, it becomes a big conflict. Some people have been asked to go. Some people have been dealt with disciplinary issues because they didn't declare some conflicts. For example, some interest in the workplace. So what will you advise, especially for professionals?
Good. What I will advise is to define your personal values. Define your personal values before you are faced with a system of conflict. I was listening to Mrs. Aoshika speak one day. It was even on Instagram Live, talking to Fela Durosue on leadership. And she was saying part of the thing that helped her to sustain her integrity and to build a sustainable reputation is that she had defined what she will not do. She said, 1, I will not sleep with a man to get a job, and 2, I'm not going to pay a bribe. So even when the customs rules were changing, situations were happening, pressure was on every side, when you are tempted to go the other direction, you will ask yourself, what's my personal value? It's not a matter of somebody looking at you with magnifying lens. What do you consider life to mean? What is integrity to you? Do you want money, fame, popularity above character and good name? So when people are not watching, what do you want to do? What do you want to be known for? Every day our lives are lived on the stage. And you will account somehow, somewhere. You relax your bound and then you go and act in a certain manner that does not befit the future that you are looking at. Your personal value. And as you said, I will not be caught raising my voice in an office against anybody, no matter the provocation. So you rather walk away, you define that. I will not be caught with fraud or mismanagement. You have defined that. I will not be caught with it. So once you have done that, you will now carry every situation in your hand and mirror it with your personal values. Now, when I was auditing in KPMG again, I will say, if we had clients that were big, that were listed on stock exchange, we were not permitted as staff to own shares in those companies. So every year we'll sign declaration and all that, and there must not be conflict. That's what they call conflict of interest. Your interest is that as a shareholder, you will be giving dividends and returns on your investment. And another interest is that as an auditor, you will tell other shareholders what is happening in the company and what the status of the company is. Tell them whether they are doing the right thing or that they are making progress or they are not. Now, your interest is now conflicting. So what would you do in that situation? You ask yourself, what do I want to be known for? A fraudulent person or somebody who is a pretender? If that is not you, you want your yes to be yes and your no to be no. Just declare or go and sell off the shares. And if you think, these shares that my father bequeathed to me when I was a teenager, I can't sell my shares in this company, no, just resign. At that season, your personal value has given you a direction as to what to do in that circumstance. So conflict of interest exists. I worked in MTN, for example, and because I was in the friendship center, there were times we were dealing with different people, retailers and all that. There are some sections dealing with the dealers. The dealers were not permitted, the staff of the company were not permitted to own shops that sold research cards and SIM card and all those things, so that they don't have a problem of missing stock, or you don't begin to tell customers to come to your own shop instead of come to MTN shop directly. So if you are a trader by orientation, in your mind you like entrepreneurship, and part of the things that the anointing is moving you to sell is recharge cards, you know your personal value. You don't want to be caught where somebody went to report you to HR that there was a shop in Ibadan. It's owned by this staff, and it now becomes an embarrassment. And suddenly your name is in the newspaper and your children are reading it. So if you don't want that kind of thing, you will choose based on your personal value. You know what, this shop, I give it up. I can be doing pharmaceutical products. Or, you know what, this trading is more important to me. MTN, take my resignation letter, I'm going. So what helps you to decide in that circumstance, which nobody can do for you, is your personal value. But if you're a businessman, you just want everything, mix it up, you will not even know what is right from what is wrong. So conflict of interest can be resolved when you already identified and you are ready to follow your personal values, what's important to you in life.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Before I take my next question, I just want to acknowledge those that are on the call. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any question, feel free to leave it at the comment section. I will take it in the course of this interactive session with Deborah. So please feel free to drop your questions if you have any. Deborah, I have another question, and this is becoming a big deal in the workplace today when it comes to a place of harassment and bullies. I don't know if you've ever experienced, there are some people they have, I won't call them bullies in terms of their personality, but when they come to you, they're almost coming with this personality that says that I must get what I want, or I'm going to cause trouble and all of that. And you discover that if you are just the easygoing person that does not like trouble, if you don't know what to do when you encounter people like that in the workplace, there's bound to be trouble. So what will you advise, one, for the person on the other side, and especially for these bullies, these natural bullies in the workplace, because sometimes they might get into trouble one day. So what one advice do you have for them?
Yeah, thank you. I acknowledge that there are people like that who has extra hormone, excessive energy, and the way they want to express the energy is on unleashing terror or embarrassing or circumventing the rights of others. There are people like that. Okay? But even in the jungle, it is not every animal that the lion preys on. That's why you need a coach in your life. There were things I was doing wrong at the time in my life that were not fit for leadership position. I was in a group coaching and I was giving life scenario of how that I would send an email to somebody who was my senior then, and this person will not respond. You get what I mean? And it used to hurt me. And this and that and that. And that's what can I do? Handle this and all that. Don't forget that anybody in this scenario, most times, you're almost clueless about the answer. If someone came to tell you the story, you have an answer. But if it is you, this thing first comes to you as a confusion. That, what happened? So that's why you need a system of mentorship, coaching in your life, sometimes to help you to see the other side that you are not looking at. Now, so at that group coaching, there was peer mentoring as well. Other people gave reasons, and I wasn't seeing. I said, oh, really? And the lead coach says, these are the issues and these are the things you should look out for. You will notice that that person that you call a natural bully, there are some people you will not near. Go and check it. A bully doesn't bully everybody. And that's why they will tell you that even the way the animals prey on their predators prey on their prey, the first is fear. Was a sense fear in an animal, they go after the animal. So sometimes your own non-verbal cues, you are sending signals out. I sat in a coaching one day on ontological behavior, ontology. That is the kind of sound and waves you are sending to the world. There is a way you enter with long stride and confident move that you send light and strength into the room, that people just say, hey, welcome. There is a way you walk, that you bend like this and begin to move, that you're already telling the world, I am afraid, I am not worthy, I am tired, I don't know why I'm here. You haven't said a word, but just the way you carry yourself, your shoulders are not relaxed. You are bent. You create a system where you are making yourself small. When you sit, you carry your hand back with yourself. Fold your leg like somebody has defined a space that you must not go beyond. So that's why I say you need a coach to understand your scenario. Some bullies, once they get to some people, they just know that these ones are untouchable. Because even the language that they use is a language of authority and strength. Hello, please, can I have the shadow? I'll appreciate it in 30 minutes. They don't look face. Even if they are now senior to you, let's say they are senior to you, there's a way you do it. I have done this. My intention is to find out if you will review it and when I should come back for feedback. You say, now because it comes from a building, but it's not true. The person has been properly cultured. And that's why I wrote in my ABC Tools for the Workplace, the very first book I authored in 2017. There is a way to interact in the workplace so that you don't become a victim. So if you now say that the problem is not even you, because there are many ways the problem can be you. You know, some people will come and say, they want to talk to you. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm right, but this thing, can you help me check? Why are you begging? The man is paid to supervise your work. You are paid to do the work and for your work to be reviewed. What's that? So the language you are using is so weak. You have formed yourself so small that it is easy for the predator to prey on you and to mess your life up and to embarrass you. Now, I'm not saying go with both face and start creating issues, all that. I said about personal values. If you say you'll not raise your voice, you will still not raise your voice. One thing I will do to you, if everything you've done right is not about you, understand that sometimes bullies don't know that they are bullies. Sometimes some of them don't know that the way they treat people or talk is really, really a disadvantage in terms of how people read it. So I will use one word: compassionate confrontation. You will still confront the person. Find a good time and say, can we discuss something about a cup of coffee? Or I would like to discuss something with you. Please give me time. I would like to have this conversation with you. You can tell the person, please, this conversation will be recorded. Just for evidence. If you say, why now, what's it about? Okay. Are you saying that we can have it, gentleman? Keep the door open so that if it turns to blue, you will be able to escape. And then you say, I understand that you are not condemning the person. You will condemn the act and tell the person how you feel. So if it's not the person's intention to make you feel less or small, he will tell you, I didn't know. Because even bully, they admit. And if you now see somebody who is really, really, really very extreme and says, what do you mean by that? You mean you want to challenge me? Oh, no, not actually. I just wanted you to know that these kind of words, they sound derogatory to me. I feel very less and unhappy. I will appreciate if you don't use them for me. So it now depends on how that person wants to respond. You can only understand what you want to say. You don't understand what he will say. Let's take another extreme scenario. That this person say, you mean, and I will make your life difficult in this office. By doing that, no problem. Go to your email. Make it official. Thank you for giving me audience today. I was very happy. Our conversation was about this. And I gave you examples of how I have been treated, which I do not like. Don't forget I'm saying that this person is superior to you. Because if you are superior to the person, you don't need all those emails. You just tell them never, never in your life, call me that thing. You finish the matter. But this person is senior to you. And it's also likely that when he's going to your helpers and people who are higher in the office to report you, you may not even be there. He may even be lying. Just to conquer you, to say, I can destroy your career here. Number one, settle it. No company gives you career. Your career is in your hand, 100%. The company offers you a job. That's why they don't give you career description. They give you job description. But people are too afraid. I don't have another job. Let me just keep quiet and be managing it. And be managing it. Manage what? You are damaging your mental health. Are you okay? You are not. You need to go and look for help. So if this person is trying to feel like he's larger than life, send the person an email and create an evidence. Dear this person, thank you for the audience. I just wish to reinform you, I mean to repeat that these are the kind of things we spoke about. These are the examples I gave to you, and they really make me feel down. And I know that your intention is not to make me feel down. I will appreciate if this can stop. If he replies you, he has killed himself. Anything he writes, you have evidence to go and give HR.
It wouldn't, but Deborah, sorry to cut you in, but this scenario is for somebody that is bold enough. We have some people that are young. I have, based on my exposure and because of the young ones I have, they're just coming into the workspace. Some of them are very timid. They're just trying to understand the workplace. Then they find flippers in the comments. I have a comment here that says, my office bully was my supervisor. One staff resigned, another switched department. I am strong, but my supervisor was the devil himself. Now, if I have such a career, I'm just an intern in the workplace. I'm just trying to get myself together. Based on my experience, Deborah, because I have served as the HR business partner, what I try to do with some of my employees in my workplace is to draw close to them, to have them speak to me. So I try as much as possible to body with them, to understand some of the problems they have and help them solve this problem. Because for some people that are very timid, or the interns, the younger ones in the workplace, it's going to be a struggle for them to send an email. So how do we boost the confidence of this type of people in the workplace?
you will see that I started by saying, once matters like this come to people, the first that comes to your mind is confusion. My father does not even ever talk to me like this. How would this person address me this way? They are confused. And that's why I said, you need a mentor and a coach. And I told you how that somebody was using some bad manners and silence to just bully me and confuse my life. Why is this person not replying to me? So I developed courage to ask him one day, I've sent you 2 or 3, 4 emails. You have not been replying. Oh, really? I'll reply it. And that thing continued. So after speaking at that coaching session, I got a lot of information that made me bold. And that ignoring him, if the matter is important, the day he meets it, he will go back to your email and read it. And that's what I did. The person did not change, but me, I changed. I grew. I am like, is it not for me to deliver the result? If he ever comes and say I didn't deliver, I'll just go to my sent items and say, oh, really, I sent at this time. Maybe it was lost between your emails. And if it's something that was time bound, I'll do a reminder. So it will not be that the ball is still on my table. I was not thinking about that. I was so confused and unhappy that somebody will ignore my mail, especially when an action is on him to respond. And he will just not respond. So sometimes people do things they don't even know is having negative effect on you, but you confront them. After confronting him, he did not change. But me, I changed. So sometimes these people are timid. I agree with you. Even the people that you call bold, when things are hitting at them, sometimes they lose their balance. I've never seen this kind of scenario before. Sure. Everywhere I go, people even always clap for me, applaud me, the best student in this. They like to clap for you. You are used to acceptance. You are used to love, warmth, and welcome. Now you got into a scenario where everything was the opposite. You will first be confused. Say, what's happening? What did I do? So having that system of coaching and mentoring, in fact, mentor does not have to be somebody who is 50 years ahead of you. Sometimes somebody who is mentoring, you can be on your level in another organization. And say, what do you do when you see this scenario? You say, oh, really? This is what you should do, you should do, you should do. So there's nothing wrong in joining brains together. And if you are timid and email is not the first thing, and you don't want to confront, tell me, how do you make your intentions and your feelings known to the person who is bullying you? How do you want to test that this person wants to change? You just did not know. Because people can come with their problems and he may tell you that it's because you look like somebody in the school who jilted them in the university. You really look like that girl called Bimpe. And anytime I see you, I get angry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not Bimpe, I'm Sandra. Please, every time you see me, remember that I am Sandra. You have been able to help your bully. And this person that puts in a comment that the person is supervisor, really most times person who has power to bully you, someone who has some level of authority above you. So it's really the head that do that. So again, I've said 2 things. Confirm that even the way you carry yourself, the way you submit your work, the way you are asking for permission too much, when you should be asking for support. Because what your manager, supervisor should give to you is support to do your work, not permission. The company offered you a job, not a career. So if you become so bad, you're not a tree, move. If you do every other thing and it's not working, get out of that place before you damage your mental health. That's the truth. So before you get there, you think this job is strategic to me. Maybe I want to become a finance director in a PLC, and this is an FLCG that is a PLC. I like to be my career. You have other strong reasons to stay. Let those reasons be your motivation. That you know you, I will ignore you. I know that I told myself 5 years in this place, I gather this information, and I leave this organization to the next. So that becomes your motivation. But if you really feel so bad, please find a very gentle and compassionate way, not to embarrass the person. You say, I know that you don't know, but I feel this way. And my appeal to you is that you should not address me this way. I am not. Someone has called me a Rottweiler before. Can you imagine? Olalade? This person is a white man, no, and is my boss, so. And I don't know what that conversation. I say, no, I know you are a Rottweiler. I say, excuse me, what did you say? You know Rottweilers are dogs. He said, yes, I know. I say, sorry, please, I'm not a dog. I'm a human being. Yeah. He said, no, I don't mean it that way. I say, that kind of words affects me negatively. I will appreciate if you don't use it again. There are years ahead of us. But when you take it first time, second time, third time, they agree that you like it. So if you are timid, speak to somebody that is senior to you and say, encourage me, how can I address this? Whatever guidance they give to you, they may be able to ask you certain questions, and in that way they can guide you. Say, oh, if I speak to your mother, after all, other people can deceive you, your mother will not deceive you. Don't say it's work, she doesn't know. Even if your mother is an entrepreneur that didn't go to school, they have native intelligence, so they know what to do. They will say, is it like that? Okay, when is his birthday? Buy him a birthday gift. His mind will come down. They will just tell you something that once you do it, it turns the tide. So don't do life alone. Don't assume you know the answer. Go and talk to someone.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think you said quite a number of things. And one thing I take back, especially for the young ones in the workplace, is always have somebody to talk to. Don't die in
Yeah.
silence. Don't, because it's your career, it's your job. I always advocate for people enjoying the job they do. You must find pleasure in the workplace. And if one man or one woman from nowhere wants to just clam your voice down, you better find a voice. Find somebody that will either amplify the voice for you if you are not strong enough to do it yourself. So I really agree with your point. I have about 2 questions, but I know we're not doing so well with time. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to workplace. But there's a question I got. It really made me laugh. At the same time, it's real. It's real, and I would ask so that we can deal with it and maybe round up with that question. It says a co-worker recently confronted me, saying she saw me chasing her with a cutlass in her dreams and wanting me to stay away from her. Please tell me, please tell me how you are going to deal with this particular issue. How can my colleague in the office come and tell me that she saw me or I saw her in her dreams and I'm chasing her? And some people take such matters very seriously. I've had to deal with one or two before. What would you say? What do you think?
Yes, it's very simple. Don't forget that a workplace is not a spiritual house. If somebody says he sees you in a dream, number one, we don't want to discountenance the dream. That person believes the dream so much that he has believed that he has to come and confront you. Maybe he had it 2 or 3, 4 times. We don't control the realm of the dream. Workplaces are guided by secular rules and laws. Don't forget also that in the realm of the dream, there is no CCTV. So it is not something that the person can prove, right? And say, can't you see the camera? You are the one chasing me here. Is it not you? Is it not you? I'm not going to say people don't dream. They can dream. I'm also not going to say that they don't have the right to believe their dream. It's their business. And I'm also not going to stay too much on the aspect of dream becoming an issue. So if somebody believes that dreams come through or those dreams can affect them, I think that they should use other means to resolve it. I mean, that's like talking to the person who had a dream. I'm coming to the person who they came to attack and say, if you want to go and pray, go and pray. Whatever you want to do, whoever attacks you in the dream, pray that, the kind of prayer they pray for you, so that person will leave you alone. It is not right and professional for you to appear in a workplace and tell somebody that is attacking you in the dream. You are now the one attacking the person physically with evidence. Because if the person takes your voice, or you are in a place where there is camera at the lobby, in the office where you are busy warning him, they will sue you for slander. You have just called somebody the name that he is not called. If you like, call him a witch or say something. The person will charge you for assault, that you are assaulting him. And the person can prove it. But you that you had a dream, you cannot prove it. Can't say it's in my dream I saw him. You can't prove it. So you have to be careful. I'm talking to the person who had that dream. If that dream really, really means so much to you, we are not going to discountenance your dream. Try and find a dreamy way. Since they said dreams are in the realm of the spirit, find a dreamy way to solve that problem. Right? That's what you can do. Whether you go and meet your pastor or your imam, let them solve the problem for you. Don't go and attack somebody and say, I saw you, I saw you. Now, you that they came to meet, that you are the one, you don't even understand the French. I wondering what does this really mean? You have to be compassionate and kind. Number one, understand that this person has come with something that is hurting the person. I mean, it is not everybody in the office that dreamt about you. Maybe he dreamt about you and he cannot contain him, or he became confused and decided to come and just outburst of anger. You will calm the person down. And that's why I said heightened self-awareness is very good in handling many issues in life. Somebody calls you, like I started with that introduction, somebody calls you a witch or that you are pursuing the dream, and me, I didn't pursue anybody. Number one, I won't let it pay me, to be honest. I'm addressing the person they came to attack now, in case the person is on this call. I won't let it pay me because I didn't attack anybody. I say, okay, calm down, oh. This your dream that you are having, you have to go and validate it. Do anything you like about the dream. It's not me you are addressing. And I really, really want to find out, do you really believe in what you are saying? Just try to calm the person down, whatever kind of language you can speak to the person. If the person is unconsolable, and say, don't even touch me. I know that you are the one behind my problem. Oh, really? Then give the person a warning immediately. Say, you know that you will have to prove this because I feel that you are personally attacking me. That's colleague to colleague, not superior and all those things. You have to let the person know, because if you don't immediately address it, he will come following week and say he still saw you in a dream. He still saw you in a dream. Then instead of pushing back the energy, you absorb the negative energy and you start to walk on eggshell around the person. If I see this person now, you see I attack him in the dream. You are now trying to absorb what does not belong to you. So if that person does not desist, that means you've given the warning first time, second time, third time. Please, you are attacking me. I feel personally under threat. Me hearing this from you, you are disturbing my inner peace and you are affecting my space. Please desist from all this dream something. I empathize with you, but go and find out how you can solve that problem. Because you already know you're not doing anything. So if the person will not stop attacking you, when you came into that company, there are personnel policies. What does this say? Because that person has become an harasser. That's called harassment. Workplace harassment. It's not just sexual harassment. It's a verbal harassment. The person wants to make you small, diminish you in an office, and throw a blame on you that you don't know anything about. That's under the assumption that you don't know anything about it. So let's even say that's the scenario. When the person cannot stop, there will be a manager or a supervisor that connects both of you together and say, I have a challenge. I have spoken to this person 3 times. So date at so time in this place. So date. If I even call this person, try and create a system of evidence. You can send a WhatsApp. I really empathize with you. I think that this issue of dream, if it really bothers you, would you like to see your mother or someone who can help you understand and decode? Yes, just to be compassionate. You don't know anything about it. But don't take it offense first time. And the person replies, shut up. Yeah, wait, because if the person is really hot, he will reply that way. But if he takes your advice, then you have resolved the issue. So at the end of the day, when you have that system and a trail of evidence, then you can now go to superior and say, I have a confusion and I think you can assist us. This is what has been happening. What do you say? And of course, the person too will have a good laugh. Even if the person believes that dreams exist, but because it's unprovable. When you get to HR will tell them, show us the photograph of the person pursuing you with a cutlass. Let's verify. You can't prove it.
Yeah.
And if it's so bad, go and get a lawyer. Maybe you think that your office is discontinuing it, or they are not using wisdom to handle it, or they just dismiss it, or maybe they think that, okay, the person that said it is the son of the chairman, we can't see anything. Please go get a lawyer. I have harassment. You will win the case, so, because you have created a system of evidence by WhatsApp, by SMS. The person didn't even know what you are doing with it. Your intention is not to set him up, is to calm him down. If the person refuses and wants to continue to harass you and put a label on you that is not your own, don't forget, it's a workplace. It's not a family meeting or family house. Don't swallow the energy that is not your own. Go and get a coach, a speaker, a lawyer, anybody who understands that system, and let them know that it.
Yeah.
Please, excuse me, I don't understand this harassment. It's harassment. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think we should round up with this question. I really have one that's burning my heart, and it's about toxic workplace. You said a whole lot about conflict, but I believe there are quite a number of people, maybe on the call, or people that will want to listen. I would then ask for people like people in toxic work environment, whereby they've just found themselves in that environment. You know, there's some environment where there are a lot of cackles. It seems as if everybody's against you, even though they're not speaking, but there's this oral, there's this environment, there's this tense in the environment. So for people in that situation, what do you think is the best way to address that particular problem? How can they get themselves out of it?
The best way to address it is by having intention. It's called the law of intention. Sit down and define what you're doing there. Right? Like I said, some people may think that, oh, these kind of workplaces are strategic. And that's why we advise young professionals. Have a career map. Where am I going? The next 15 years, how do I want to get there? What kind of companies? You don't just apply to anywhere. What kind of company will help me? Maybe somewhere in the future you think you want to be an entrepreneur who wants to play in the technology space. And this company in IT is calling you, that one is calling you, and you have gone there with intention. That I want to learn how they do credit cards, MasterCard, or how do they do systems of refund and disputes. You see, that intention that you have is a strong motivation. First for learning and next for expression. So you won't go to meetings and just be looking. It will define the kind of questions you are asking. It will define the kind of people that you select into your circle when you get there. In case you are in marketing, you will be referring people in operations because you have intention and you know what you're looking for. Let's now say that thing agrees with your intention. Nobody starts out to enter a toxic. You just discover that this environment is not okay. Then with your intention, number 2, define your options. I'm not going to say jump out. We know what the labor market is. Define your options. do I have to apply to other places? And immediately I get it, I just move, which may also speak to your career goal as you want it. Okay, if it's not this beverage company, it can be this other one. There will always be options for you. Assess your options. When you now see a better option, let you move. But if you now have all the strong reasons, and I don't know, there may be 1,000 reasons why you are in that place. If you have strong reasons to stay, let your reason become your motivation, which means you discountenance all the things they are doing. I've heard somebody say it on the pulpit that he was learning under one pastor, but you know that pastor has a grace for this particular anointing. This person will stand on the pulpit and embarrass other people, but he will not mind. He will just focus on what he is looking for. And he defined when he was going to exit that ministry. And when it was time, after he thought he has done something, there are some places that on your CV, they will help your destiny. That I work in this place. People may not know you went through hell. But your intention is that if I can have one of the big fours on my CV, or if I can have this multinational on my CV, even though your manager was not behaving well, but you know what you are doing, 3-4 years, anybody that I want to move strategically to this other company knows that I know something. Yeah. Then you will define that system and then work with it. But if it's so unbearable, you have to excuse yourself. There's no way. You don't have 2 lives. The only company offers you job, they don't offer you career. Your career is in your hand.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And some of these questions are very important to me because they are some of my experiences. There are things that I see happen. There are things that I deal with in the workplace every day. I know this time cannot be exhausted. I see a suggestion that we should talk about workplace, office politics, but sincerely speaking, time will not have.
Which may turn into coaching. You will be able to profile life solutions. So a lot of people don't know who to speak to. And sometimes people are the problem. Let me not lie to you. Your first place of work, they bullied you, you resign. The second place they bully you, resign. The third place they're bullying you. You are the only constant person in the equation. Can't you do something about yourself? Why is it easy for people to bully you? There are 14 people in that unit. You are the only one they are bullying. There's something that you are doing to attract bullies into your life. It's either you need to work on your self-esteem, your confidence, how you carry yourself. The second thing that can be wrong with you is incompetence. If you are incompetent in your job, you submit a report, they have to review you 2, 3, 4 times. You are wasting the time of your supervisor. He will talk to you anyhow. So you work on yourself. If you always produce your job and they look for errors, they can't find it. They know that you're a valuable member of the team. Nobody will be stupid to talk to you anyhow so that you will not vex and resign. Have you ever seen anybody discard of value? You have a gold in your hand. They call you this thing is gold or it's very treasurable. And you say, how much is it worth? They say, this kind of thing is about $10,000 when they weigh it. Oh, really? That's me. Yeah. Have you seen anybody like that? So sometimes it's your competence. I have people like that in my team as well. You will correct the report, you will send it. They will bring it back past tense for simple tense. You will be patient, you will submit it. They will bring it back. The first thing you corrected, they have found another error. Punctuation is wrong. You put semicolon where you should put comma. If you have an impatient boss, they will shout at you, they will complain. And you go to the world and say, it's a toxic environment. Have you made yourself invaluable? What are you bringing to the table? Anywhere value goes, appreciation, welcome goes. Haven't you seen how people with greet Dangotes of this world, even if you're wearing a t-shirt and a slippers? That's value. There's a way you present yourself. There's a way you do your work. There's a way you carry yourself. There's a relationship that you have outside of your department that they know that if this person wants to go and talk against you at the evaluation meeting, they know they can't win because you are friendly. You box yourself in your department of marketing. Those are the people that know you. You're friendly, you have subordinates, you have colleagues, and even subordinates ahead of you in finance, in operations, in all that. There are a lot of microphones speaking for you. When it's time to decide and promote you, and that manager says, he's lazy, they say, Who? Patricia is not lazy, that girl is smart. Yeah. Another person, that girl is, when they know there are voices for you, they will not bully you anyhow. So create a system of rapport, interaction, spread your wings, become valuable, be relevant, raise your hand for special projects, be useful. When they want to go to press to advertise a product, say you will go. Show that you are an advocate of that company. You love it. You want to represent the company. You love the good of the company. They want you to work on weekends. It's not forever. Sometimes volunteer. They are doing night party, Christmas party, all that. You are not there. You say you are going to church and night vigil. Out of 14 parties they do in the whole year, you never showed up for once. Nobody sees your face. You say they are bullying you. How will they not bully you? Who is the next person that will speak for you apart from that your boss alone that knows you in the whole company? You are not doing yourself any good. You are not visible. You don't write articles in the school in the office magazine. You don't show that you have value. So Those are the things that when you come for coaching, we will be able to tell you. Make yourself invaluable. You'll be difficult to bully.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, Deborah. You said quite a number of things, and I believe that there are so many things to take back home, at least personally, in terms of also 10 questions. Yeah, we're just able to take 3 out of 10. So I believe we will, we will find an avenue to answer such and allow people to also come up with more questions during the webinar, and we can deal with that. So I want to thank everyone. Philippa,
there's something I want to say about
okay.
office politics. Sorry, I just want to say something about
okay, just to address Philippa's question. Yes.
2 things. Politics will not go away from offices. Just don't wish that you are in a place where there's no politics. If you're in a place where they don't pay politics, get out. There's no prospect.
Okay.
Just get out. That is everybody doing the same thing. They just promote me on my work. There is no competition. But when you work in a place where there is hierarchy and they have to promote you, and you know that from this department you become the HOD, from HOD you become a group, maybe it's a group structure, you become a group CFO, this, there will be politics. So because the higher you go, it becomes narrower. That's it is no longer I know my job. It is who do I see? Yeah. And if there's anything about politics, I tell people, because I hear this question all the time, what do I do with working politics? I can't play it. So I say, play it. The only answer I have for you is to play it. You will not do eye service without competence, right? You will know your job, but you will also know the people you are dealing with. It's not eye service. Know your work and know the people, because if you don't know the people, there is nobody that will see you. There are 4 of you. They are looking for who will become the next HOD. You came to the company together for 10, 15, 12 years. You are all equally and technically good. If you are the boss as well, what other criteria will you use? Yeah. They are doing children's birthday, they say it doesn't concern me. They are doing Fridays, thank God for Friday, they say I don't like the kind of song they are playing there. Go there now. Maybe you will not sing the song. Go there now and just take coke, take water. If they are taking all that things, you can't succeed. Even if you get to boardroom, this is how they play this politics. You want to sponsor a project, you will first go and meet the people that are the voices, people who have the clout. And at the end of the day, you go and do it. If you don't want to put a limit on your career, the higher you go, the stiffer it becomes. So you must train your politic muscle in the workplace.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful evening and talk to you some more next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.